Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Good afternoon. Hello, and welcome to your
Monday.
product update call.
My product update. It's Monday again. Certainly focuses the mind.
It certainly does. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Sorry, I was just looking out there because you can't have two Brits on a call and not start by talking about the weather. Just wanted to see what it was like outside.
It's glorious and sunny outside here, but because the window is there and I've got fancy glasses that go dark with the sun, if I don't close the blind, then I look like Bono, and I'm wearing sunglasses indoors. So close the blind.
Well, I look like a dick, you mean? Well, not that Bono looks like a dick, but wearing sunglasses indoors. Yeah.
You do, yeah. Unless you're Bono, or even if you're Bono, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but that's not why we're here.
No, it's not why we're here at all. People have far more reliable channels to go to find out about the weather and whatnot. So we have some pretty cool developments, I understand.
We do indeed. We have
the word on the street.
4 headline items, really. So first one is we've enhanced the email tracking. So we implemented email tracking and email history. And we've now added the open and click tracking to that. So not just what was sent, but also the open and the click through SendGrid's API. Heads up, if you rush out to go and test it, SendGrid's API only refreshes every 3 minutes. So depending on where you catch it, the first time you use it, if you're at 2 minutes 55, you'll suddenly see the response. And next time you do it, you're at 5 seconds. And then you think, well, hang on, why is this not working? It's every 3 minutes.
It's kind of I don't know if catch-22 is the right term with using external APIs. Is on the one hand, you don't have to make the immense capital investment in infrastructure and systems, but on the other hand, you can only get access to it on the terms that they set.
But the reality is, in real use terms, in real use case, you're not sitting there sending an email and then seeing if it's in the history.
Only when you're testing, yeah.
Yeah, it's testing. So when you're actually busy with your day-to-day, those 3 minutes don't really come into it.
And if you do find yourself sitting waiting to see the open and link click activity on an email, may I suggest that you find higher value ways to invest your time at work.
Yes. Focus on sales, and you won't have time to look at that.
Yeah.
So the other one we've done is we've had for a very long time the ability to attach files to data objects. And then you've got thumbnails of those files, and then you can access those files directly there. And you can do that in the interface. You can do it via the API. You can do it via URL. All those things are there. We've now put it in that you can get your customers to do it. So you can set up a link or a button in an email, and then automation can send the email. And because we know which data object triggered the automation, we then know which data object to attach the files to. And they can upload multiple files at the same time. And
come on, give me a textbook use case for that then.
Well, so for instance, we've got one client who works with a group of solicitors, and when they take on a new case or they start investigating a new case, they need lots of proof of identity and other documents that need to be submitted. And rather than emailing back and forth, can you email me this file? Can you email me that file? It's just a case of, can you please upload your files here? So it's a nice little interface. It's branded. It pulls in your app's colors, your app's logos if you've customized your app. So that's all there. So your customer remains on your environment, and it doesn't look as if they're just uploading stuff to some third party that they've never heard of. But then what we also do for security purposes is we use effectively two-factor authentication. So they'll get the email, and when they click on the link for the first time, they see a screen saying, hey, we've sent you an email with a code. You need to enter code before you can upload files. Nice. That only happens the first time they do it for a particular data object. So let's say there is a scenario that over the course of a year, you deal with a customer 3 times and you need them to upload the files. If I have to upload files at multiple points for the first case, I can then just go back to the link and I can upload the files without authenticating on my particular machine, of course.
Okay.
Authenticating my ID.
So it sets a cookie or something, does it? Just to know that, okay.
But if it's a new case, or in any scenario, a new data object, then it'll ask me to confirm my identity again with the 2-factor authentication. So it just secures.
This is probably too much info for anyone listening. A new data object or a new data object type?
No, new data objects. So for instance, let's say we were doing it for app signups. You sign up for a Macanta app. We know there's a data object. Can trigger an email. Please upload some files here. 6 months later, you sign up for another Macanta app. That's a new data object on your record that's going to trigger an email. So you're going to have to authenticate again. But
that's really nice.
But if the day after you've done the first upload, you click on the same link for the same data object, you don't have to go through it again. We know it's you.
Yeah. So for example, with the solicitors, let's say I'm asked for 15 things. I've only got 5 to hand, but I want to get them in. I can get those off, and then I spend a couple of days getting the rest of the stuff together. I can just click on the same link, and I'm not going to be asked to go through the same thing. That's nice. Love it. Really well thought through.
Yeah. So that works really well. And like I say, you can select multiple files and upload them in one go. And then the other one is we've pushed out version 1.1 of the mobile app, both on iOS and Android. So the difference between 1.0 and 1.1 is full access to data objects, data object notes, relationships, and notes and the tags on the data objects. And then we now start working tomorrow morning on 1.2, which will add, because at the moment it's read only. Apart from contacts, you can change contacts, but you can't edit anything data object related at the moment. But we then start tomorrow so that you can create a new data object, edit a data object, connect new relationships. You can already add new notes in that, but being able to do that.
And does it include all of the kind of visibility and
all the contact view permissions and section permissions and everything is in place. So I log in, the same template permissions you have on the web app on your computer transfers for the same user onto the mobile. So you still have full restriction on the access that they can have.
Lovely.
For that. So yeah, so that's all I've got for you.
God, you're slacking, man. Only 4 things?
But they're 4 things that make a difference. So
yeah. Part of me kind of think didn't we talk about some big things last week? It's like how we.
Oh, I forgot. There is one item. I've skipped one on my list. Sorry about this. Data object imports. So it's always been a very tricky situation for people. You import contacts and then you import data objects if you're moving from another system. The problem is if you've got automation built, when you import those data objects, they're brand new. And as far as the system's concerned, they now meet all these conditions and automation starts firing and potentially sending emails and everything. So there is a back-end workaround for that we can do, and that's all fine. But we've now put in what is the first of 2 versions of this, of enhanced importing, that when you import the data object, you can select whether you want to import it active or inactive. And what that means is active means the moment it's imported, automation will start running, fire away as it is. If it's inactive, it'll remain inactive until someone edits it. So if you go and make a change to it and click save, which will be a manual process, then the automation will start running for that item and then remain running for it.
For all fields, not just the one that changed.
Yeah,
it will look at the whole data object.
Yeah,
if the state of the data meets any of the trigger conditions, it's considered to be active and it will work.
So that's the activation there, which just means you can import historical data so that you've got it in one system. But unless someone goes and changes anything on it, nothing will happen. So just to give you an idea of what version 2 will be, is where you can then choose and say, okay, what makes this active? You have the option to say never. No matter what anyone does to this item, I don't want automation to run. You can say if manually any field is edited, or manually a specific field is edited, or if the API edits any field, or the API edits a specific field. Because those field-specific ones just give you the ability to go and sort the data out without anything running, and then say, yeah, that one's ready. It can now go without needing to build an extra field into it.
It's the sort of granularity which, until you need it, you don't know that you need it. But when you need it, you're going to be glad that it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that
we've done the thinking for you, so you don't have to worry when you come to that point.
So that now really is it. I have no more up my sleeve for today.
You're not going to do a Columbo. Just one more thing.
No. No Columbo here.
Excellent. Great. Well, cool. See you same time, same place next week.
See you next week.